Your brother's family acted uneasy around me. Well, I knew why. I had disrupted their perfect little world. At 32, I was the unmarried daughter who chose a creative life over the family's revered medical legacy. The black sheep. The one who refused to fit their mold. Another text arrived, just until things settle. We don't want tension during the photos. I stared at my reflection in the apartment window, the Seattle skyline twinkling behind me. 5 years ago, their words would have hurt. Now, I felt something else, a mix of amusement and quiet triumph. If only they knew what I'd been working on this past year. Okay, Dad. I understand completely, I replied, watching the 3 dots as he typed. That's my girl, always sensible. We'll FaceTime during the reunion. I smiled at the thought of the manuscript on my desk, recently accepted by one of the country's top publishing houses. Releasing exactly 2 days before our family reunion. My phone buzzed again. James. Hey sis, no hard feelings about the reunion, right? Karen just wants harmony for the kids. Karen, the perfect doctor's wife. Perfect children. Perfect family image. The same Karen who spent years mocking my writing and alternative lifestyle. No hard feelings, I replied. I'm busy that weekend anyway. Busy was an understatement. I'd be on a national morning show discussing my memoir, a brutally honest account of growing up in a family obsessed with appearances, breaking free from expectations, and finding success on my own terms. Early reviews called it refreshingly raw, a debut that peeled back family dysfunction with surgical precision. I ran my fingers over the final proof copy, The Perfect Image, a memoir of breaking free by Chen. My family had no idea about the book deal, the publicity tour, or the film rights in discussion. They'd dismissed my writing as a hobby, never asking what I was creating. Even when I quit my corporate job last year, they sighed, waiting for me to get serious. Mom's message appeared. Anna, dear, I know you're disappointed, but try to understand. Your choices don't align with our family values. Unread. I opened my laptop to check the morning show schedule. Right after the weather report. Prime viewing time, the same time my family had coffee together, the same coffee shop where Karen held court with other doctors' wives, the same time my parents watched morning news before heading to the hospital. My agent buzzed. Advanced copies go out tomorrow. Your family doesn't know yet. No, I replied. They're too busy planning perfection. Publisher wanted to release a day early. Perfect. I poured wine, watched the sunset paint the sky. In weeks, everything would change. My story, our story, would be out in the world. Another group text from Karen, finalized reunion schedule. Matching outfits, formal dinner, Dad's speech about the medical legacy. Perfect, I whispered. Absolutely perfect. The morning of my book release, I sat in the green room, red dress chosen to stand out against their pastel perfection. Notifications flooded in since midnight. My agent forwarded screenshots of my family's panicked texts. Karen had discovered it scrolling social media. My book hit #1 on Amazon new releases. 5 minutes, Ms. Chen. I smoothed my dress, heart racing but calm. Trending on Twitter, #the perfect image mentioned 50,000 times in the last hour. The publisher talked second printing. My family would be watching. Segment started. Sandra Mills held my book, a cracked family portrait, perfect smiles. Our next guest wrote the most searing family memoir of the year. Please welcome Anna Chen, author of The Perfect Image. I walked out, smiled, sat, calm, collected. You write about growing up in a family that looked perfect from the outside, but underneath, appearances ruled. Children couldn't be themselves. Success was predetermined. Those who dared to be different, excluded. Like you, recently excluded from your own family reunion? I smiled. Exactly like that. They'd dismissed me, my career, my life, and my writing. They never asked. Now, they were about to read everything. It's really symbolic of our entire relationship, the way they refused to see me for who I am, instead of who they wanted me to be. During the interview, I said, each question lets me unravel the flawless image my family has clung to for decades, not with anger or resentment, but with calm clarity and undeniable truth. Sandra pointed out, "Your brother's wife plays a major role in the book." I nodded. "She's the ultimate enforcer of family perfection. Karen embodies everything our family values: conformity, appearances, social standing. She's not a villain, just part of a system that prioritizes image over authenticity." My phone vibrated. A text from James. "Do you know what you've done to Karen? She's crying in Starbucks." I ignored it as Sandra raised the book again. "There's a chapter on my decision to leave medicine for writing." I nodded, remembering my parents had mapped out my life from birth: follow them into medicine, marry the right person, have the right children, maintain the legacy. Choosing writing instead was treated as betrayal. They never asked if I was happy, only how it looked to their friends. By the end of the segment, my social media following had doubled. The publisher rushed more copies, my agent handled talk show requests, and book clubs were calling. But it was my mother's text that stopped me cold. "Your father and I are very disappointed. We raised you better than this. The reunion is in 2 days. How could you embarrass us?" I typed back, "I'm not embarrassing you, Mom. I'm just telling my truth. The truth you never wanted to hear." Then a message from King Karen: "You've ruined everything. The country club mothers are talking. How am I supposed to show my face at the reunion now?" I smiled. The reunion photos would now mean something very different. Speeches about legacy would feel hollow. The perfect facade had cracked. My agent tapped my arm. "Ready for the bookstore signing. There's already a line around the block." I gathered my things. "Funny," I said, "they excluded me because I made things awkward. Now I've made them real." My phone buzzed again. "James, Mom and Dad are talking about canceling the reunion. Karen wants to leave town. What's your endgame?" I typed, "Just being authentic." Then I stepped out to meet readers, leaving the perfect image behind. The reunion day arrived with a thunderstorm, nature's perfect backdrop to the chaos I created. Social media flooded with readers sharing their own stories of breaking free. My book hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. The publisher had a second deal ready. Then my phone rang. It was my grandmother, the one family member I hadn't written about. She had quietly supported my choices all along. "The house is in turmoil," she said, amusement in her voice. "Your mother's locked in her room, Karen wants to move, and your father's muttering about damage control. But I'm proud of you." Tears welled up. "You're not angry?" I asked. "Angry? I bought 10 copies for my bridge club. We've discussed it all week." Margaret Johnson even admitted her son's business trip was rehab. "Your book is starting a revolution among the country club set." Her tone grew serious. "They're still having the reunion, though. Your mother refuses to cancel, it would confirm everything. But now it's different. The perfect image is shattered, and they don't know what to do." I smiled. "Are they still taking the formal photos?" "Yes," she said, "but now everyone knows it's just for show. Your cousin Emily refused the matching outfit Karen picked. Your book inspired her to be authentic." James texted, "Last chance. Come, apologize, fix it." I showed my grandmother. "They still don't get it. This wasn't about destroying the family, it's about being honest." 3 hours later, I stood outside my parents' house, grandmother beside me. The reunion was in full swing, tension thick in the air. I knocked. Conversation stopped. My father opened the door, shock and anger on his face. "Anna, you weren't invited." My grandmother stepped forward. "I invited her. This is a family reunion, isn't it? And Anna is family." Inside, everyone froze. Karen gripped her wine glass. James hovered, unsure. My mother sat rigid. I placed a package on the coffee table, the second printing, signed for everyone. "No," Karen said sharply. "No apologies, no destruction. Just honesty," I said. About how breaking free doesn't mean breaking apart. Real family survives even when the perfect image cracks. Mom stood. "You humiliated us. Everyone's talking." "Mom," I said, "they were always talking. Now it's honest." Margaret Johnson discussing rehab, Emily choosing her own outfit, me telling my truth. Dad scoffed. Your truth? What about ours? Your truth suffocated everyone. Look around. Did perfection make anyone happy? Silence. James glanced at Karen, who stared into her glass. Mom's smile wavered. I didn't write the book to hurt, I continued. Pretending to be perfect was hurting us all. Grandmother picked up a book. Maybe instead of posed photos, we could talk like a real family. Karen spoke first. I read it. All of it. And it wasn't wrong even about me. The perfect image cracked more, but something real began to shine. James sat next to me. Mom relaxed. Dad loosened his tie. So, should we take the family photo, just being ourselves? I asked. The photo wasn't perfect. My red dress popped. Karen's smile was genuine. James had his arm around me. Mom and Dad looked human. Grandmother beamed. Not perfect. Real.